I've been dreaming of being able to draw whatever I like, whenever I want to. Although, like all skills, it takes a lot of time and effort. There are countless forms of art out there, but the thing that piques my interest are things like this, and most especially this. Kidding aside, I'm here to share you my personal journey and how it took me to finally be able to look at my piece and not cringe at every single detail. If you're enjoying the stay, consider supporting the channel by subscribing and liking the content. Let's move on. Today, I'm here to show you one of the first canvas that I have since coming to the decision to practice illustrating in somewhat a serious manner. The story of how I got this notebook is quite an entertaining one. An event during my 12th grade, which was about 2 years ago, while we were conducting general cleaning, I've noticed this notebook that has several school notes in it. And since there's no signs of previous ownership that I can see, and no one seems to claim it, I've decided to rip the written pages and throw it. A few days went on quick, and I've decided to test my drawing ability, and as you can see, it's a total flop. The proportions are all over the place, and I have simply no talent for this whatsoever. So, after a couple of days at school, I've decided to attempt to draw another piece of art using this character. Comment down below who do you think this is. Anyways, after several minutes, or should I say hours, I finally finished the piece, which was at the time satisfied me a lot. Looking at the time, I've noticed that we still got about 3 to 4 hours left before the bell rang. I've decided to draw yet another piece, albeit adding my so-called twist to it. Tada! This piece took me about the same time as the previous one. When carefully looking at the piece, you can see that there are many things that doesn't seem right. I'm gonna figure out these so-called mistakes on a much later date. Going forward quite a number of days, that's when I've come up with the idea that why not draw all the characters in alphabetical order for my first ever mobile game, League of Legends. Starting with the obvious choice, Aatrox. Tada! Looks good, I know. Although, what really messed me up while recreating my favorite League character, which I have the highest mastery points, is that some part really took me forever to figure out. The hands. I mean, look at this mess. This looks like the embodiment of nightmare itself. I didn't give it too much attention and decided to move on with the next character on the list, Ari. I couldn't finish the piece as shown on my reference, and that is mainly because, again, the hands look like it's trying to summon something not from this world. So, what I've decided to do was go back to the basics and learn from the start. So, I've looked up references and poses and start literally copying them 1:1 ratio, since according to some YouTube videos, that's where all artists start. So, I started with some poses, a lot of them, then move on to hands, a lot of hands that I felt sick looking at them, although some were quite pleasing to gaze at, to say the least.
Nice.
Some time has passed and it was the start of 2020. Around this time was when I finally got my first pen tablet. The one I got was the Huion H6040P. I really enjoyed this piece of equipment and I was really excited to do my first digital illustrations. It started with this piece. It looked like a total mess since I was still not familiar with the software and how it works. Some days come to pass and many more artworks were drawn, and I've been quite aesthetic about the results. Fast forward to about 1 year and 9 months and a new pen display which cost me my whole life savings is to be used for my future projects. A close friend of mine requested that I drew her a piece of how I interpreted her, and since it was her birthday, I agreed to do it for free, under the condition that I don't tell her what said interpretation means. So, a couple of head scratching later, 4 hours to be exact, here it is. After months, well in this case year, of drawing, this is now my style. I've posted it in my art dump account, which will be linked down below if you're interested, along with other stuff that I've done and hope you enjoy it. If you're still here, consider subscribing as I hope to one day make it past 8,000 subs. Pieces like this takes time, so much of it, and it's not even that great if I'm being honest. I really hope to one day be able to make it in YouTube and be able to stream games and make a living out of it, as I'm currently struggling to continue my education and if I'll ever continue it. Hope you enjoy it and paalam!